What up, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Low, back at you with another video. Gonna hit you with two today, right? And that's because I was talking to one of my subscribers, right? And he was telling me about the Keefe D incident, right? With the whole Tupac thing and how people are promised immunity, right? Legal immunity, right? Not, you know, like the sickness, but legal immunity, right? And what is legal immunity? Well, what is immunity, right? Immunity basically is the trade of information, right? Like if you are arrested for a crime, right? If you give the police officers information, you won't be charged, right, for the crime, right? Or you'll get you'll get a lighter snitching, basically, right? You get a slap in the wrist, right? But here's the thing that people misunderstand about immunity and why the Keefe D, when I heard him, talk about this, it made no sense to me whatsoever. Now he said, with the detectives that were, investigating this whole thing in him, whatever, he had gotten immunity from them. But that's the thing, though. You cannot get immunity from police officers. Police officers are not allowed to offer you immunity. Like they have no say so in the whole immunity talk, bro. Only the prosecutor has the right to grant immunity. He himself is the only one that has the power to grant immunity. So not the detectives, not the police officers, none of them people could grant you immunity. Only the prosecution could grant you immunity, right? And now, how immunity works, because people get this twisted as well, how immunity works is that if you, okay, let's say the prosecution grants you immunity, right? You're giving us, this information, as a trade, right? Now, the prosecution is not allowed to now prosecute you for the information that you are giving. So, like the things that you're giving them, you're providing, the cops and the prosecution, the information that you're providing them, they can't charge you for your information, right? Like they can't arrest you for saying what you're saying, right? But here's the thing, though. If they could find evidence outside of what you said, right? If they could gather more evidence, or find evidence, right? They could still charge you for this crime. Just not use what you said against you, but still charge you. Get what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. It's a. Do you really believe that our legal system is built to help criminals? If they're able to find other evidence linking you, you will be charged for this crime. They just won't be able to use your testimony against you or what you said against you. But it doesn't mean that they can't prosecute you. Now, if you're talking about traditional immunity, that's different, right? And that most likely the prosecutor is not going to grant you that, right? Or they'll at least fight, teeth and nail not to give you that. That's like the last option that they're willing to give you, right? That's like if they can't really get no more evidence and they really have absolutely nothing no more, then they'll use it. They won't want to use it, but most likely they will use it. And then that's when they could promise you that you won't get prosecuted for any of the information that you're providing them. Even if they do find evidence now linking you, whatever, they won't be able to charge you. But see, that's different from just immunity, right? So people get those all confused, right? And here's the thing, though. It is not against the law for police officers to lie to you, right? So if the detective tells you he could grant you immunity, or that he could say that your homies are, he could lie, like your homies already snitched on you, so you might as well just tell me, and they can fabricate and lie. It's not against the law for them to lie to you. So they could lie to you. They could make up, that your friends told on you. Shit, they could even provide a fake letter saying that your confession from your homie. I mean, they won't let you hold it and see it or whatever, but I mean, they'll say like, hey, see, your homie already confessed, right? Here's his confession. Yeah, that's not against the law. They're allowed to do that. And why are they allowed to do that? Here's the reason why. Because you were too stupid to get a lawyer. It's not their fault you don't want to get a lawyer. If you would have had a lawyer, your lawyer would have knew that these cops couldn't be doing the shit that they're doing. But since you thought you were so slick and clever and all of that and wanted to talk your way out of shit because you feel like you're that salsa, you feel like you're fucking educated when you're not, right? But you think because you're so good at lying, you're able to get away with it. That's the reason why, hey, play ball. It's not our fault you don't want to get a lawyer and, and all this and that. You literally fucked yourself over because you wanted to be cocky and chingon, thinking that you could, lie your way and weasel your way out of shit. That's why they're allowed to lie to you, because it's not their fault you didn't want to get a lawyer and you told them that you're waiving your Amanda rights. I mean, that's not the detective's fault and the prosecutor's fault. That's your fault. You know what I mean? Get a lawyer. So when people come on and say that, I got immunity for this and that, if you ever hear somebody tell a story where somebody gave them immunity, a police officer, whatever, that story is either made up or they're about to get a knock on their door or some shit like that, because they're not allowed. I mean, this is the law, bro. It's important you know the law. You want to be breaking the law? Know your law. Another thing I'm going to say is that when people come on here, right, and want to talk about murders that they have done and thinking they got immunity so they have the right to speak on it, it's just ridiculous in itself. Or even attempted murder. If they attempted to kill somebody, right, if there's an incident, they're telling a story where they almost killed somebody or something like that and the cops never found out or whatever, if they find the person the crime was against, the victim, pues, if they find the victim, and if they find some evidence, you could be charged for that attempted murder that happened a while back ago, even though it was just attempted murder. Nonetheless, you could still get arrested for that crime. And more damaging, if they have now your words that matches with the evidence and what the victim is saying, and now your words, you can see why they could prosecute you and you would be. That's why it's not okay for people to come on here and talk about people they almost killed or stuff like that. Now, if people come on here and say, I wanted to kill him, that's a complete different story. That's just like what he wanted to do, but he didn't really go through with it or whatever. He didn't take no action, right? But he just said what he wanted to do. It's different from saying that you actually committed the crime, but the person didn't die, right? But no cops ever found out. That is a completely different story. And I don't recommend people talk about shit like that. But hey, people can do what they want, right? That's why it's important to know your law. But overall, that's what immunity is. And, for those to get an understanding better, because I know it's being used a lot in the talk of the whole Keefe D and Tupac thing and what he was saying. And, the cops lied. See, they were doing dirty shit. No, bro, they're not allowed. But they're allowed to lie, but they're not allowed to, only the prosecution. I'm just saying, Shadow, we out.